Hey friends, welcome back. I am Jason, and today it is time to boost the home security. So hear me out, guys. I've been wanting a camel, okay? I mean, first, it would make a great guard animal, right? I mean, there would be signs everywhere saying, beware of camel. I mean, they're huge. I mean, they're like, I don't know, aren't the males over 2,000 pounds? They're giants, those big back-trained camels. If you had one of the two humpers, you could just sit right in the middle between the two humps and be able to ride that thing really comfortably. But however, I looked into it, and you can get a dromedary camel, the one humper, for way less. There's a camel for sale in Australia. His name's Kyle. The advertisement says he's a bit dopey, but he likes a good bum scratch. Thinking about getting Kyle the camel and just having him out here on patrol. We'll see. But until then, until that happens, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to install some cameras. I've got some motion sensing cameras that I'm going to install. They were a gift to me for Christmas from my parents. My mommy loves me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to install a camera up here in the corner of my house. I'm going to install another one downstairs. That way I can kind of get a pretty good lay of the land. And if there's any movement going on, any trespassing, I could be alerted to it whether I'm home or not because it sends a message to my phone. Now, I'd love to hear what you guys think about these connected to the grid type cameras. They're China-made, without question. I mean, there's various different ones out there. I'll show you the ones that I'm going to install in here in a few minutes. But being installed to the grid and connected to Bluetooth, internet connections, how easily hackable are these things? Is this something that we really need to concern ourselves with? Are these types of cameras more of a risk than they are a reward? I'd love to hear what you think about that. Can they easily be hacked into and people can be spying on you and seeing what you're doing? I don't know. I'm not the techie guy, but I'd love to hear what you guys think about that in the comments section. Are they a valuable tool? You know, if someone comes onto the property and they walk in front of one of these cameras and they're not supposed to be around here, whether I'm home or not, I might get a message. I'll get a message and be alerted to it. And I might get just a few seconds, perhaps even longer, heads up as to what's going on around me. And I think any heads up, any alert at all is going to be really, really beneficial because when you're at home, that's kind of when at least that's when I am the most relaxed. When I'm at home sitting around in my underwear or something, you know, I'm not on guard. I'm not like ready to kung fu kick at any given moment. I mean, I am, but your regular Joe is probably not. I'm ready to karate chop a head off at any given moment. But I'm not your average Joe. I'm an elite warrior. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about this in the comment section. Let me know if these are a valuable tool. But I'm gonna go ahead and install one up here in the corner, and then I'm gonna install one downstairs, and then we could talk some more about some home defense stuff that I've been working on. Some things that we've talked about in the past, but it's always good to update that stuff and remember to bring it up. Stay fresh on your mind. Hello, cat. All the critters are coming to visit me right now. Oh, kitty. All the kitties and the puppies are out. This cat, it's cold outside today. She probably just wants in. Easy peasy. So these are the little cameras right here, and that is the type of camera. I have done no research, no reviews of these at all. Like I said, they were a gift, so I'm just going to be trying them out. AOSU, however you would say that. But anyway, charging them up, making sure they're fully charged, which I think they are now, and I'm going to go ahead and install one of them. Pretty easy to install and to set up. I mean, basically you plug the thing in to your router, you plug it into the wall for power, and then you plug it into your router for your internet service, and then that's pretty much it. And then you connect them via Bluetooth, and then you got these little cameras here that you charge up, and supposedly they last quite a long time on a charge, but you know, we'll see how that goes. But it gives you the battery level. You could check it on your phone. So when you get like an alert or something like that, it sends it to your phone. But you could check on the cameras and see how they're doing through the phone, through the app that you download. I don't like apps. I hate apps, but it seems like everything requires an app these days. But anyway, you're on camera right now. So stay out of trouble. Don't do anything suspicious. All we do now is climb up here like so, and try not to fall to our death. Do not stand at or above this level on the ladder. Do you know anyone that's actually paid attention to that rule on ladders? I don't. I've broken that rule countless times. So anyway, I'm just clipping it on here, clipping it onto this little deal right there. Somehow, like that, like so. And then we just spin this puppy around and point it in approximately the right direction. And then we can obviously check on the phone and see what we're looking at, and we can adjust the position of it really even. It's just like on that little ball joint right there. So that's pretty nice. So I'll point it in approximately the right direction, what I think it needs, and then we'll go from there. When it comes to home security, guys, I'm not a paranoid freak. I mean, despite what people say in the comment section on this video, I'm not crazy. But despite what people say in the comment section, I'm not a paranoid freak. I want to protect my family. That's all. I mean, and there's a lot of crazy people out in the world. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, a lot crazier than I am, drugged out of their minds. Who knows what causes them to be so crazy? But they're out there, and we have to realize that. And just because something hasn't happened to you and your family yet doesn't mean that it won't, doesn't mean that it can't. And could I live with myself if I failed to do the basics, the simple stuff, like installing this gate right here? If I failed to install this gate because I was too lazy, too cheap, thought that nothing ever was going to happen, and then because I didn't do something so basic as installing a gate, something really terrible happened to my family, would I be able to live with myself? I don't know. That'd be tough. But yeah, just having a closed gate. I'm not even locking it right now. I can lock it, but I'm just closing it. And that is a mental barrier that will stop somebody from coming through because people are lazy, generally speaking. It's more difficult to get out of their vehicle, expose themselves to possibly getting caught in the act, getting caught red-handed by being outside of their vehicle. They don't feel as protected. They feel vulnerable. Bad guys want to get away with stuff scot-free. They don't want to have any risk to themselves, to their bodies. They don't want to go to jail, generally speaking, unless they're just absolutely nuts. So just having something as simple as a gate like that, that's a game changer. That will make a would-be bad guy go down the road to pick on somebody a little bit easier prey, someone their own size. So just doing the basic stuff, putting some cameras up, some motion sensing chimes that we have. So if someone comes down, if they come through the gate or the gate happens to be open, which my kids never close the gate, drives me crazy. Still working on that one. Kids are kids. But if the gate happens to be open and someone just comes down the driveway, we'll get a chime inside the house and we'll know that someone is upon us. And we can get a little bit of a heads up. Sure. I mean, yeah, if they're barreling down the driveway at 50 miles per hour and they've got guns ablazing, sure. But realistically, that's probably not going to be the case. So just basic, simple measures, installing those cameras, motion sensors, giving us a little bit of a heads up, just attempting to appear to be a less easy target is a huge portion of it, I think. That's just my opinion. I think that 90% of it, maybe more, is just appearing to be less vulnerable. Just like when you're walking down the street, you know, in the city, a mugger is less likely to approach a 6'5", 350-pound jacked dude because he appears to not be an easy target, right? He's gonna approach the scrawny little guy that's got his head buried in his phone and not paying attention. I'm not saying you need to be 6'5", 350 pounds. I'm saying that you need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to pay attention. You need to appear that you've got your head on a swivel and you're paying attention so you appear to be a less easy target. So one of the other things that I do around the house is I clear some clear some runways, some line of sight paths from easy access places in the house, like windows in the house where I can see a further distance, because I live here in Georgia, and especially in the summertime, the jungle encroaches upon the house. If you let it, my house would be completely covered up by jungle in just a couple years. So we've got to keep it at bay. And I like to cut little paths, little line of sight paths from like the kitchen window basically up through the woods. And I've got a couple more that go across the creek so I can see further distances if necessary. So that's what I'm doing right now. So right now I'm just cutting a little bit better path through the woods right here above the house. And that will allow me to see a little bit further, having a little bit better of a vantage point. Less cover and concealment for a would-be bad guy. Now, yes, I realize that by putting some of my preparations on the internet, I am exposing myself a little bit more to some crazies. Just by being on the internet in general, having a YouTube channel exposes you to the crazies. I understand that, but that's a sacrifice. I guess I'm making a sacrifice because I want my community, I want you guys to be more prepared. I want you guys to take advantage. I want you guys to take advantage of these tips and tricks and tactics and just ways of thinking, so you can be more prepared and less likely to become some sort of victim. I don't want that. I battle with this. I go back and forth with it. Should I show these types of things on the internet? Should I make these types of videos about what I'm personally doing as far as preparedness goes? I battle with that a little bit, to be honest with you, but I do feel like I'm making a little bit of a sacrifice, like, because for you, like, that's the goal. Yes, I understand the risks involved. I'm well aware of them, but I want us to be more prepared as a community. The more prepared we are as a community, as individuals, the less likely that we will be part of the problem. We could be part of the solution, and that's what I'm always preaching. Be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Oh, and by the way, this beast of a machete right here, it's a shorty. It's about 18 inches overall, but man, I tell you what, this machete is the On3 machete, designed by yours truly here, and it's made by Bear Forest Knives. And it's gonna be ready sometime probably the end of this month, give or take, and you can get yourself one. And this thing is a chopper. It really gets the job done. Small package, but really, I think fights a little bit out of its weight class. That's another thing, guys. What I try to get across in each and every single one of my videos is living your life to the fullest and not living in fear. My videos might be about rubbing two sticks together and making fires, or building some sort of shelter in the woods, or, you know, installing a camera on your house. But the true meaning behind all of my videos, my purpose behind having a YouTube channel, is to inspire you to take on risks and take on challenges, to not live in fear. Be prepared. Yes, definitely. Be prepared, but do not live in fear. And that's what I try to preach, and that's what I try to do. That's how I try to live my life. That's how I encourage my kids to think. Live life to the fullest. Take risks, take challenges. Don't be afraid. Put yourself out there to be exposed to some degree. You may disagree. You might think that's foolish. You might live in a cave somewhere with the doors locked, sitting on a mountain of rice and beans, and never go outside. And you feel safe. You feel warm and cozy and safe in there. But to me, that just seems like a wasted life. But you do you. You know, I'm not here to judge you. If that's how you want to live your life, if that's what makes you feel like you've accomplished something, then go for it. Always a good idea to do this type of work in the wintertime if you can, for a lot of reasons. One, you don't get so sweaty and hot. Two, you're less likely to get stung by things. Yellow jackets and paper wasp nests are always in stuff like this. And it's really irritating when you're swinging around a really sharp thing amongst all the briars and brush and you start getting stung, start getting lit up. That sucks. I get stung a lot every year. Also, less ticks. You're in the thick of all this, all the foliage is thick and you're sweating all over the place and the ticks are crawling all over you. That sucks. So do this in the wintertime. It's the best way to go about it. That's looking pretty good. Now I've got a nice tunnel down to the house so I can see what's going on. Much more gooder. You know, having lines of sight I think is important. You know, I like my privacy, so I like having dense foliage and coverage around my house so people can't just see in, you know, and see what's going on. If I am strolling around in my underwear. But I also understand that the further I can see, the better. So I'm making compromises here. So instead of just cutting vast swaths of forest down and clearing around my house for about 100 yards, 200 yards out, I am making some tunnels. I think that's a fair compromise. Anyway, I'd love to hear what you guys think about all this in the comment section. Please leave a comment. Any comment will do. Does not matter. Here's the question of the day. If you don't feel like talking about home security and preparedness in general, if you could go into the future or back in time, which would you do? Future, back in time. And where into the future, where in time would you travel and why? Leave that in the comment section. Love to hear about that. Anywho, until next time, friends, what's the worst that could happen? Let's just go on 3.